Welcome to the Manic Noize podcast. This one I'm really stoked about. I got to catch up with a good mate of mine, Tim Price. Pricey he's the man behind the Faction Radio. It's a metal station that started in Australia about 7 or 8 months ago, I guess. They've now got an app on iTunes. They've got an app on Android. You can stream it from the website, 100% free. The best new music from Australia and around the world. I'm on there doing interviews. I've done interviews on there with a bunch of bands. It's a great station. So Price has kicked that off. Him and I actually started putting gigs together in central Queensland way back in 2005, I think it was. And yeah, all these years later, we're still working together. He's killing it in the music industry, and he's a great dude. So anyone in a band, any comedians, anyone trying to get anywhere in the with their craft, this is a really good one to listen to. Price is a PR guy. He's worked with Steel Panther, Rise Against, Meshuggah, all these big bands. He knows what to do to get your name out there. So have a listen, learn, and there's a lot of stupid stories from back in the day as well to keep you entertained. So have fun with Pricey from Collision Course PR and the Faction Radio.
Podcast initiation complete. Warning. This episode may cause brain damage. Manic Noize.
All right, welcome, Pricey. Tim Price, how are you, man?
Oh, dude, I'm very well.
That's good. Good to talk to you. It's been a long time. We've known each other a long time.
Absolutely. It's been 10 plus at least.
Yeah, I was just saying to Tish this morning, I've hit you in the balls more than anyone else on earth.
Oh, man, I distinctly remember getting dropped to my knees in O'Dowd a number of times. I'll just be standing and talking to someone else, and the next thing I find myself on the floor writhing in pain, and a Hayden Mitten running away, laughing maniacally.
Yeah, I had a lot of problems. I do want to apologise for that, but it was funny. So,
well, yeah, look, you know,
I can only be so sorry. Just to introduce you to anybody that doesn't know you, so you run Collision Course PR.
Yes, that's correct.
So, and what do you do there?
So my job is to find bands and work with bands and labels and make sure that all of the places that you would usually hear about heavy music are talking about those bands and are playing those bands on the radio and making sure that, yeah, people are talking about the bands that I'm working with.
Cool. That's very well summed up. There you go.
Yeah.
And then your other baby is the Faction Radio.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that started about 6 months ago, and, you know, with about 12 months before that in building it and getting the concept and the idea right and building that. But essentially it's a 24/7 streaming music for heavy music app for heavy bands and music, and we're lucky enough to feature some interviews from Douglas Harvey yourself.
Oh yeah, that guy. He's got a massive dick. Hey, it's like at least an inch long. It's really, really impressive.
You know, some women call it a micro penis, others call it, you know, a mushroom.
Yeah, well, potato. You know, it's all glass half full, penis half developed. Yeah. You know, however you look at it. It's unimpressive, but it's there, Pricey. That's the important thing.
I always love the look. It's small, but it goes like a sewing needle, sort of deal.
That's good.
You know that. You know. Oh well. You make up for it in other ways, eh? Like you go for it like the Clappers. You might not have the girth or the length, but go like the Clappers. You know. That's
it. You know. Well, look. All those Rocky movies, he wasn't the best boxer. He had heart.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
It's all about the effort made.
Yeah, see, I knew it was... See, I was so excited to talk to you today that I stayed up all night, and I knew it was worth it, Pricey. I'm sitting here.
Yeah,
I got a boner. I'm
impressed.
Got some Vaso, got some Doritos. I'm ready to rock.
Sounds like a night in Rockhampton.
Oh, the fuck, man. We'll get into that. But
I know it's coming.
Oh, we've got some good ones there. some fun adventures in Central Queensland amongst the people who vote for Pauline Hanson. It's like when I have to explain to people where I'm from, it's like, yeah, it's basically
that gives you the flavour, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
That really sets the tone. You go, right.
Yeah.
I get you now.
Yeah. That's all you need to say. Well, anyway, look, these people that we're going to watch a bit of a video here, and we're going to try and work around technological limitations. But you've got a media outlet, the Faction Radio, and you're always out there hunting for new music. And I know it's not a rap station, Pricey, but just give it a go. All right?
All right. Here we go. We got 2 minutes 24 of vegan rap.
Yeah, that's
in
it.
Bracket, don't use the name of an animal as an insult.
That's the one. Let's do it.
Your dog. All right, let's rock it.
All right,
here we go. All right. I'm digging the laid back.
If you gain weight
I
for
like
too much
that the two old people just sat in chairs.
I respect you and cows.
Don't use cow as an insult.
I respect you and cows.
You eat every single fig. I will never call you a pig. I respect you and pigs.
Don't use pig as an insult.
Oh, no.
Animals are innocent.
And I love the dude in the background. He's
is
like,
he wearing a colander on his head? No, it's just a.
It's like a beret.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I've got a story about that guy in a minute as well. But this is. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I respect you and sheep.
Don't use sheep as an insult.
Look, I'm gonna stop it there. It's getting a little. It's like, yeah, all right. I will never call you a sheep. Don't use sheep as an insult. Like, it's very repetitive, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's
just insert next animal there.
My favourite one is something. If someone's not nice, I'll never call you a bitch. I respect women and female dogs. Don't be, like, it's so fucked. And
oh man!
The best
Why
part,
do people think this is a good idea?
The best part is that they think this is a good angle to get their message out.
Yeah.
And the guy on the right, the old boy, he looks like he's about to have a fucking seizure the whole way through. And old mate in the background, he's done videos talking about, oh, if you're a vegan, I want to lick your vegan vagina. If you look up, if you Google vegan vagina guy, it's basically him going down on the camera, like simulating going down on all the lucky women that are vegan. And yeah, he's one of a kind.
I know some amazing vegan women, and they would not go near this guy.
Me too.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So there you go. Don't use the name of an...
Do you think that perhaps that this is a married couple and their son that still lives with them at 37?
We can only hope.
Do you think that's it? Yeah.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised with these sort of Muppets if they're a married couple and that's the younger boyfriend of the two.
Yeah, right. Old mate's a cuckold. Right.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Oh, wowzers.
Wow.
Wowzers.
Well, I think when we hit the word...
to start off with.
Yeah, well, hitting the word cuckold is when we start talking about where we come from, I think, mate. We're at Rockhampton.
Yeah, right.
So you and I met, it was 2004, and we met at a music industry workshop with the Butterfly Effect.
Prior to the Butterfly Effect, yeah.
That is right. And then, was it last year that you worked on the release of...
Yeah, yep. Late 2016 into 2017, we re-released their vinyl. Yeah, that was quite a moment for me. Because they really did have a lot to do with where I first sort of found the spark the industry that I wanted to work in. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
I can honestly say that day was a real foundation moment for me, and not only that, one, it was the first time I ever saw your band play.
Yeah.
And it was also the day that I met Stephen Green, who in the future became my business partner. He was the publicist for the Butterfly Effect at the time, and he came up with them. And yeah, you know, got to know him then, and eventually ended up in business with him. So,
well, it's also crazy. Like you, myself, Craig Zonka, we all went hell for leather. Craig Zonka is now the main ABC guy in Queensland.
Dude, he was the voiceover for all the Anzac Day parade stuff here in Brisbane, like for ABC Radio. Like the guy is just, yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, and then you're out there, you've got the faction, you're doing all your PR stuff. I'm over here sucking dicks for change. But it's good to see two of us did well.
Amazingly doing stand-up, bro. Don't
No. I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right, man. But it's just crazy that day really. I mean, I'm not performing in a band anymore, but that really did set in motion everything for me as well. It really sort of kicked all three of us in the ass. It
really did, man. And dude, when I walked into the venue that afternoon where we were seeing like that whole show that obviously finished with Butterfly Effect, yours was the first band I saw. As I walked out on the hill, you guys had just gone on. And I distinctly remember the moment that I just went, I love this band. This is great. Like the metal that you were playing, I just remember there was a segment of, it must have been one of those early songs where you were playing a lot of really Iron Maiden sort of influence stuff. As you went on and changed guitarists, you ended up in a lot more heavier stuff, a lot more Whitechapel sort of stuff. But it like your early, you know, like when you were playing with Hedges, like that was a lot more Iron Maiden stuff. And I remember there was a breakdown, and then it just went straight into like, you went into one of your like massive falsetto things, and I just went, that is like, it just hit all of the bits of metal that you expected for it to hit. It ticked all the boxes, and I just remember going, this is a local band. This is amazing. I'm so stoked. And then like actually got to like know each other, and yeah, like that was really cool. And like honestly, man, like I could probably trace. I mean, I was into heavy music before I knew you, but a lot of the stuff that I'm into now, a lot of stuff that I know of and use as, you know, sort of inspiration for programming the faction, I trace back to nights we were driving around in your little red Getz. and you know, like I just remember you playing End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage and just like cranking that up and going, dude, you've got to fucking listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a lot of it I trace back to.
That's cool, man.
To that, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they were fun days, and you know, I think a lot of people probably get the idea. Like if you're born in a major city, you take it for granted. People are always bitching about Perth, and I just think, go fuck yourself. You don't know what it's like to live somewhere boring. There's heaps of shit on here.
Yeah,
and you got to make something happen. And you know, for you were a teacher at football academy.
Aptly named, yes.
Yeah, so which is a school in central Queensland, which is basically known for creating football players, and they can do whatever the fuck they want all the time.
Yeah, yep.
Pretty spot on there.
Yeah, they've created a few of the football players that you would know on the field today and are in trouble with the law. You know.
What a shock!
I won't name names. Let's not get litigious.
Let's be fair too. If we started naming names, we'd be here a while.
Yeah,
there's a few, but
yeah,
you had a gutful, and you were still teaching when I met you, and you were still teaching for a few years, and then you sort of got involved with the A venue council work, and were you fucking scared? What was it? Did you have a job when you moved to Brisbane, or was it all moving there to start this?
No, I didn't. What had happened was I was with another partner. I had a partner at the time that I was engaged to who is like a different woman to the wife I have now. But
I remember, yes.
And she had already got a job down here in Brisbane, and she moved down here, I think, somewhere in between 3 and 6 months before I moved down, because I had to stay back in Rocky and sell our house and get our lives together and move it all down. And yeah, I don't know why I didn't apply for jobs before I went down, but I basically got there, and the day after I arrived in Brisbane, I just started walking around in the valley and just like walking into venues and going, hey, I can mix bands. Will you give me a job? And I got a job at Rick's, which is in the Valley Mall, and just started, and it was like the most horrible place to mix in the world, because you mix the band side of stage, and the stage was probably smaller than the stage that we had in the front bar at O'Downs, let alone the back bar.
Oh shit,
and,
that's always good.
And and it was a lengthways room, but the band played a widthways, so you played, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and the speakers were. So I was standing side of that stage, looking at the front door, and the speakers hung, front of house speakers hung above the front door, looking like to the right of the band.
That sounds really good, man.
It was horrible. It was really hard to mix in there, but it was a good break, and it was, you know, I met tons and tons of bands there that I mixed that are now like that are, you know, that have either gone on to be huge or, you know, or have gone on to play in other bands that are, you know, not necessarily in heavy genre, because there wasn't a lot of heavy stuff there at Rick's, but, you know, like I mixed Hungry Kids of Hungary's first show, and I mixed like the DZ Death Race dudes early on, and Velociraptor, and like just a bunch of bands that came out of that, like Brisbane circa 2008 to 2010, like Ballpark Music, like a whole bunch of bands there that like were basically the John Steele Singers, like bands that were like that, like dominated Triple J at that time. And that was pretty nuts for me, like that I'm here in this bar just getting, like I didn't even know what band I was mixing, because it was 7 nights a week they had music, and I'd just turn up and whoever was on that night, I'd mix them, you know, like it wasn't, and it was always free entry, and it was always, you know, just raucous in there. It was like really like on the fly, things going wrong, sort it out, crawl between the punters to fix the problem sort of thing. It was really hectic.
Oh, that's cool. Well, nothing beats back in the day mixing a Laura Foe. Do you remember them?
I do.
There is no one listening who would have ever heard of them, but
no, absolutely not.
Wombat, the old guitarist in my band, described it perfectly. He called it Napoleon Dynamite the musical. And that just fucking, you don't even need to hear them and you just get it. Oh shit. No, that's good, man. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's a good story of you getting down there and hustling and finding a job. But when you said I just started walking around the valley, I was hoping it was going to be and just started sucking dicks, and but it wasn't. Disappointing.
I remember. Do you remember what happened when we came down from Rockhampton for Big Sound one year?
Which year? Which incident?
The year that I was sleeping on the bunk above you.
Oh, I remember lots of things from that year. Yeah, I remember you being absolutely shit tanked.
Yeah, yep. And I didn't realise it, but I had vomited in the middle of the night over the side of the bed.
That's right, you cunt.
All in your bag.
Oh, that's right, you fucker. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I forgot about that. You motherfucker, that's right. Oh,
and
but that was
your toiletries bag.
You did. I threw it out. You can't.
I know.
Love that toiletries bag.
I got hit a lot that day.
Oh, shit. Violence isn't the answer, but hey, sometimes it does work.
And the awesome thing about it was, like, first of all, I took my punishment because it's a dog act. And two, my immediate superior, like, who was there supervising us, like, I was there representing the council.
The council.
I was there supposed to be overseeing everyone, and I was the most shit-faced of everyone. And she just went, you hit me a bunch of times. And she was like, oh, man, what can I say? You deserve that.
Yeah. That's not normally professional conduct to just start laying into someone, but you did fuck up my toiletries bag. And that was an heirloom. That was from my great-grandmother. It meant a lot to me.
You did say that at the time. So either you've recycled the joke or it's for real.
I'm a sociopath. I'm really good at lying. So what advice can you give to people that are wanting to, I'm not even really talking get into the music industry, but arts in general?
Yeah.
Like you've set this up yourself.
Yeah.
Like setting up, I'm not going to fucking put your bank statement out there, but setting up something like the radio thing is not a cheap thing to do. It takes a lot of time and a lot of money to get it up and running. What's the plan of attack? For what can people, even bands touring, I think this would apply to, just as far as getting your ducks in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in one regard, like we're pretty lucky in that, like, Collision Course PR, we're doing okay. So essentially, what it meant was for that 6 to 12 months there where we were getting it together. I was just taking a little bit of a pay cut, and my business partner was taking a bit of a pay cut, and we'd put that aside to pay for everything as we were setting it all up. So I guess, to equate that, I mean, it'd probably be the case of if there's a 5-piece band, the 5 of you putting a little bit of your pay into a separate bank account every month that serves as the savings for the band, so you don't have to bankrupt yourself every time you want to go on a tour.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's kind of the equivalent of squirreling away some cash from the earnings that you make from your day job. So, yeah, like at the moment, the faction doesn't necessarily earn anything, but we're building it to the point where there's enough of an audience and enough of social reach and enough point of contact with the audience we have. So, on email, on the ability to push notification, the ability to reach them on Facebook and Instagram and over the actual audio stream, that there's enough of an audience there's an impetus for people to advertise with us in that stream. And I don't mean, like, we're not going to just take, an advertising stream like Lamewood where they, not to single them out, but just anyone, where it'd be, advertising the specials at Coles that week or whatever. Like it's, we'd be going out to stuff that's going to appeal to people that are into metal and heavy music. So, you're going to hear ads about tours that are coming up. You're going to hear albums that are coming up, merch brands or labels that have, releases or compilations that they're releasing, that sort of stuff. Or even slightly disassociated from music brands, maybe even like video games and stuff that people that are into heavy music are generally into. But it's also not going to be overly intrusive either. You're not going to get 10-minute ad blocks. You're going to get, one ad, in between 2 songs, and then, you'll hear 3 songs and then another ad or 2, and then, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to be all of a sudden, getting punished by ads every, for 5 minutes solid. Because, part of what we're doing here is not to give you the shits when you listen to it. It's, the point of it is that, there isn't many other outlets to be served up new heavy music 24 hours a day.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't have to necessarily, go searching for it. We're going to serve it up to you. And, that we all know that, repetition is how you, break hit. As much as it's annoying sometimes, but we're not playing Barnsley 15 times a day, It's new heavy music, which is like, there's somewhat of a model of, we're modeling a little bit off the same sort of rotation idea that Triple J has, in that, they have a feature album, there's rotation songs that are going to come up more often than others, and they're the ones that we think are the tracks that are going to be big,
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's good because, I think the appeal of radio in the first place is that it does give you shit that you don't know. And I stopped listening to radio forever because there was nothing for me there.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's good now. Obviously, there's Hogue, and he's been doing his thing, and then with what you guys are doing with the faction, it's nice to just chuck it on and see what's on there. There's a lot of Aussie stuff. There's a lot of international stuff.
Yeah.
It's a widespread, which is good because you're gonna,
and I listen to it constantly too, man. So like, if there's something in there that I put in and like, I might listen to it in isolation before I put it into the playlist and go, oh yeah, this will fit, and then I'll put it in, and it's weird, man. It's the same song, and I'm listening to it through the same speakers and all that sort of stuff. But actually on the radio, surrounded by other stuff, you just go, it doesn't work, and I'll take it out. Like, there's something about the fact that it is a live stream, that there are people listening, that there's a community that is listening. There's an energy about it, and sometimes that energy just falls flat, and you just go, okay, I'm taking that out.
Yeah.
Because I'll either go, all right, that's not as heavy as I thought it was, and the audience is just going to be like, what's this doing on the station? Or I'll listen to it in stream and just go like, oh, that song is like 3 minutes too long, and I'm bored, and I'll take it out. I get the difference between like, heavy music is obviously longer than pop music, and prog music obviously traditionally is 7 and 8 minute songs, or even 5 minutes plus. And I know the difference between like a good song that is an 8 minute song and keeps you engaged, and an 8 minute song that's just wank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So sometimes I've got to just drop the hammer, and you hit skip, and it just fades out into the next like little radio ID, and just goes into the next song. And I don't think anyone's ever called me out on it and go, hey, why'd you fucking cut off that Def Evans song, or just for example. But you know what I mean? Like, it's usually if I'm bored, I don't want to bore my listeners, so I cut it off.
Yeah, fair enough. That's good. So, with things like press kits and all that sort of stuff, I mean, you and I went to a lot of the same workshops and things over the years. Do you think that's all still to sort of remain the same, that people just want a simple one page that tells you who you are, how to contact you, what you've done, and what you sound like?
Yeah, absolutely. Like for no like other, even if you don't use it for anything else, but like it's just really good. Like if you're about to go into a campaign where you're going to release something new, and you're working with a PR person, for the first time or whatever, like if you can hit me with that I can just take all of the key points out of and craft that into a press release, that's so much easier than trying to like trawl through your Facebook page and try and get a vibe of who you are. And oftentimes bands just have the people's names listed, not what they play on their Facebook. And sometimes they'll have ridiculous names for themselves that like no one else calls them. They just thought it would be funny, like just stuff like that. And it just, or, like they'll leave off like their hometown, or like just like if you've got it together in one document, you can send that to me. And you know, the same's going to go if you're trying to pitch yourself for support for a band or a tour or whatever. Just that ability to be like, this is us. This is us in a nutshell. And you know, here's the 3 best YouTube links for what we do. This will give you a vibe of who we are and what we're about and the bands we've supported. You know, not a page long of it, but give me the 5 to 10 best sports you've done, or you know, headline shows you've done. Like that's the crux of what you need to know. It's not. I don't need 7 pages worth of every show you've ever played or anything like that. And like,
sorry, keep going.
Like the thing that I hear most from bands is like, oh, it's hard to write about myself. And yes, I get that. But you know, that's what it's worth every cent. Either then get on the phone with me and pay a little bit extra and I'll write your bio for you that you can reuse, or you know, pay someone else in your local community, another manager around town, or there's always you know, or even your state music body like Q Music here in Queensland or Wham over in Perth, like they'd have a directory of people who can write bios for you, or you know, whatever. Like that, it's worth every cent because it sells you so much better than, oh yeah, we formed in 2014 and we had a few lineup changes because the guitarist wasn't getting along with the bass player, and then you know, we thought we'd record something. Like it's like fucking meandering shit, you know, like. It's like that's all well and good. That's your history. That's not your bio.
Yeah, I learned like all that shit. You just say we formed in this year. After a few lineup changes, we released this. Like that's all they need. That, and even that you probably don't need. But
exactly. Like there's definitely a difference between writing the entire history of the band and a bio. Like a bio is far more descriptive and informative in such a shorter format than you'd ever think you'd need.
Yeah, 100%, man. Oh fuck! All right. Yeah. So
lay off the bombs.
No.
I said no.
All right. Yeah. What's that? The Babadook or some shit?
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Oh, I thought that was quoting the Babadook, or either that or
wow.
Brett Glover. I don't know. One of the two. Yeah. In the comedy scene, no one knows what a fucking press kit is.
Weird. You would think that would be part and parcel, because like you're literally just selling yourself. I thought that'd be 101.
The top few guys have got them, but most of the others, and I'm talking people, you know, Raw State finalists and things like that, even the guy that went to the Nationals didn't even know what it was till I told him.
You would think like YouTube and all of that sort of stuff would be so integral to building a fan base.
Well, they've got YouTube and things. It's just a simple A4 document with their contact. Because this is the way I put it, right? I can email a comedy room or a metal promoter, interchangeable, doesn't matter. I can email them or Facebook message them and say, hey, I'm this band from so-and-so. We're coming over. Can we play? We've played with these bands, blah, blah, blah. I could put that all in an email, or I could put that in an email succinctly, and then I can say, here's my bio. My press
APK
kit.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you've got 2 people contacting you and one person's just sent you a fucking Facebook message, the other person sent you links to their on MySpace. Fuck, what am I talking about? They sent you a chain letter, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
filled with wax.
If you've got 2 cunts that are claiming the same shit, and one of them has got even having a footer at your email with all your contact details, all this sort of stuff, people don't think about it. And for the sake of half an hour, you automatically look more professional than you are, or you look as professional as you are, but if you didn't go to the effort, you wouldn't look professional.
Yeah. That's a bit mind-blowing to me, man. Like that, that just seems like 101.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's strange, man. There's a lot of things that bands do that comedians just don't.
There you go.
Yeah, I like the concept. We tried to do a mixtape, so a compilation album. Every comedian does 5 to 7 minutes, and then we all get digital download cards and hand them out. But it was a clusterfuck. We had terrible numbers, and the guys on it were brilliant. It's nothing to do with them. It was just we had terrible numbers, and unfortunately, we had issues with the sound, and it just sounded crap. There wasn't many people there. It just wasn't doing justice to everybody. Right. But something like that in the metal scene, that's where I got the idea from, because it's been happening for fucking ever.
Yeah. So it might work in that regard, man. It's like maybe keep it even simpler and literally get everyone to, like, basically it'd almost be like just like a little comedian collective, and you actually just create a YouTube playlist of the 5 to 7 minutes of your best stuff, and just send that one link to people. And, you might get work as a collective, like the 5 of you get hired for a show, or to go, all right, I want 2 or 3 of you out of that block of stuff you sent me, or whatever. Like maybe there's something there in that. It's almost like a label.
Where I'm actually putting together a podcast network as well. So that's the idea with that, is to just get a bunch of people that I know that are doing podcasts, just put them all under the same banner, and
Yeah.
So the whole
absolutely
for that, it's just I'm setting up a website. It'll be under there'll be an iTunes network.
Fuck yeah.
And then all of the shows will come under that. They'll all be listed on the website. Everyone has the rights to everything. If they get a deal with ABC, fucking good on you. See you later. It's all just about pumping each other up.
Yeah, dude. I'm all about it. I think that's great. There's power. There's power in numbers, man. Like, and I mean, obviously, there's you got to keep, like, you can't have any weak links in the chain. You've got to have, all of it's got to be quality. But man, there's definitely power in numbers.
Yeah, and it is quality, and it's it's people that I work with, people that have got shows that are reputable, and it's just like, fuck, why not help each other out? And if someone is looking at my show and then goes and looks at Andy Dowling's show, or Simone Springer's show, or some of the other comedians over here that I work with, that's awesome.
And you're all winning. Yeah.
Everyone wins. Yeah. So that's the whole 100%. Idea there. A bit of my communist streak, I guess. Trying to get us all to work for Castro.
Painting Perth red, mate.
Yeah, with little stars wherever I can.
No, I like it.
All right. So what else can we talk about music-wise? And I think I'm just trying to think of shit that you and I might know that might be helpful to people. Because a lot of musos and also comedians and just people in arts in general listen to the show.
Yeah.
Do you think, I mean, as far as social media, I've spoken to some guys over here that seem to think that Instagram is better value for marketing than Facebook at the moment due to the algorithms.
Yeah, but I mean, you also got to look at the fact that Facebook owns Instagram as well. So, I mean, the first thing that they implemented as soon as Facebook took Instagram over was that they changed up the chronological nature of the Instagram timeline, so that it put content that it thought was more relevant to you, or it was paid for content. So I mean, it's not that different if you get my meaning. Like, they're owned by the same people now. They've shifted it up so that when you do an ad on Facebook, it also goes over to Instagram and puts it at the front of that. So, like, yeah, look, I definitely get more likes and views and all of that sort of stuff off a post over on Instagram. But I think you just gotta remember that also, like, your audience over at Instagram is probably a little bit more transient in that they just taking in so much more content all the time.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's just random people.
And it's gone as quickly as it's in front of you as well. Like as much as Facebook is frustrating and all that sort of stuff, Instagram also has its things that are frustrating. And you'll have your wins over there that day, and then some other days you'll have your wins on Facebook as well. It really does depend on the audience. Like as much as there's a big Venn diagram was a big crossover of people that are on both, there are definitely people who are on one or the other. So I don't think you can really throw one out just in total preference for the other. And look, I'm also, I use them all day, every day. I use social media all day, every day. But I certainly don't profess to be an absolute guru on it. I'm always learning, and I'm trying to adapt as fast as the algorithms are changing. But I probably post far too much content for it to be truly, effective. But that's how much content I've got to share. I don't, you know what I mean? So I'm constantly struggling with that because I do need to get the word out about a certain number of things.
Yeah.
Sometimes probably my reach gets a little bit fucked up, and that's why sometimes I pay for some sponsored content every now and again, because sometimes I need to make sure people see that.
Yeah.
But I think, look, there's certainly a ton of people that are making their living out of Instagram, and
I think you need a nice ass, man. I think that helps.
Well, that was my next point. You really that kind of Instagram account. You really got to, and I think if you talk to those people that are calling themselves influencers or entrepreneurs or anything like that, it becomes they're putting on this lifestyle that they've got to that they're trying to portray in their stories and posts and all that sort of stuff, and it grinds them down. They're they can't. It doesn't actually match up with what's happening in their life. No. So they're actually they're starting to feel and look, this is not all of them, but I have read articles of people who have ended up with depression and all that sort of stuff because there's a real facade that they're putting up that they've got to maintain to keep the sponsorship money rolling in, or product endorsements that they've got to try and somehow squeeze into and make it feel like it's organic and natural, like they're not getting paid to spruik a fucking body tan lotion or something. You know what I mean? It's hard. You know what I'm saying?
It's like Wayne's World, man, where he goes, it's like people only do things before it's exactly that.
Yeah, and look, I get it. Do whatever you got to do to get your coin and all of that sort of stuff. But the way I see social media and that sort of stuff, I don't know if I could make just that my income. I use it in such a way that it advertises the business that I do have, not the business that I have.
But
know what I mean?
But that's because you don't have. If you looked like a 10 out of 10 supermodel, your business would be looking like a 10 out of 10 supermodel. It's a lot simpler business, Pricey. You should have got into that.
Yeah. This is the other thing. I'm lucky enough to be an educated human being. I look at that and go God damn, even if I looked like that, I'm not sure I'm it just seems all too self-exploitative, I don't know. I'm not here to judge them, man. They're out there getting their coin.
Hey, look, I appreciate their work. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, dude. It's they're beautiful human beings, but it seems unsustainable to me.
It's just
from a mental health point of view.
But there's some chicks, they're just famous for having a nice ass, and every day it's just nice ass picture. That's their life. Is just taking pictures of their ass.
It's an interesting new world we're in.
Do you remember when we were kids, man, and like you had to break a leg or have a birthday party for a fucking photo? You actually had to do some shit.
Yes. Oh my God.
Back the good old days.
Where you were going. I wasn't sure where you were going with that, but yeah, 100%.
I wasn't sure either.
Like you had to break a leg or like what? Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, I watched Bill Burr's latest Netflix special last night. It was incredible.
Oh, he's amazing, eh?
Yeah.
Walk Your Way Out?
I just actually, yeah.
Yeah.
The one, it's in black and white, right?
Oh, no, that's the second latest one.
Yeah, right, okay.
Walk Your Way Out is the new one, and that one is... Fuck.
Well, anyway, I watched that one,
one.
The black and white one.
Yeah.
And, dude, like... There's, obviously there's some comments that are made in there that are obviously meant to like be barbs and that you're meant to get prickly about it, but that's precisely the point. But I just really loved just the absolute disdain for the just like stupidity of life or the stupidity of people you meet and like and it's just like dude, just there's a whole thing about how there was a guy from Texas or something, like he's on one of those reality shows, like a pawn shop show or like from
it was Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty, yeah. And it was about how like people were surprised that this guy said some racist, homophobic shit. It's like, well, what do you expect from this guy? Like, he's like, I don't condone a word of what he said, but like, are you really that surprised that you're offended?
He's been hanging out in the swamp with a duck whistle, like what?
Yeah, like it. Don't just yell at the guy. Like, if anything's ever going to change, and it likely won't with him, unfortunately, but like you're going to have to take a better tack with that guy. You're actually going to have to sit down with him and explain to him. And, yelling at him for being offensive is not going to change that guy.
No. And you know what, to be fair, at that age, probably nothing is, because I know what my dad's like, and I'm going to interview him for the podcast. I don't think he really knows what a podcast is, but I'm going to tell him he can say whatever he wants and it's unfiltered, and I'm going to start him off with the Tasmanian Water Board. That's upsetting him at the moment. And then I'll get him onto politics, and then we'll be right home to Queensland. We'll be talking Pauline. Okay. Oh, it's going to be awful, but fun.
Let me ask, what just to go on a binary scale, like let's not complicate it too much, but where did you sit on the side of politics, right or left?
Oh, right.
Okay.
What is
not extreme right, surely?
Oh, he's an interesting man, my father. I mean, he follows a lot of those United Patriots and all those things.
Oh no!
And he thinks Pauline Hanson's great, but Donald Trump's an idiot. Work that out.
That's a complicated web, man.
Oh,
How do you justify any of those statements?
You don't, but I can wind him up, and it's going to make for really, really good, good entertainment.
Wow!
I love you, Dad. If you've worked out how podcasts work and you're listening, but yeah, need to fucking chill.
Well.
Oh man! All right. Well, I'm going to play a bit of a game with you, man, called Cunty Questions.
All right. Sweet. Okay.
I feel like you're the man. You know how to get cunty, get swifty, any of those things.
Yeah. Look, I'm really gonna have to tell my mum not to listen to this one, but okay.
Probably, yeah. Oh no, it's just the word cunty. It's right. It's not about vaginas or anything.
Right.
I don't. To be honest, I don't know enough to ask you questions about them. It's just fucking mysteries to me. Cunty questions. Questions.
God fucking damn it! What the fuck?
So we start off easy, all right?
Let's go.
So
Let's go.
So true or false? What's your favourite colour?
Black.
True or false?
Oh, true or false? Right. False.
Thank you. See, people don't pay enough attention at the start.
No, correct.
So they're not
okay.
about vaginas, but they are cunty, just a little bit.
Right. All
So,
right, let's. I got the flavour now. Let's go.
So right, this is one that I like. You can have sex with Beyonce anytime you want, but you've got to you've got to suck off Jay-Z first, or you can have sex with Melania Trump anytime you want.
Yeah.
But you've got to suck off Donald first. Oh yeah, maybe your mum shouldn't listen to this. Actually, in hindsight,
No, probably not. In hindsight, yeah.
or you can have sex with Susan Boyle anytime you want, but you've got to have sex with Susan Boyle. See, they're all unpleasant. That's the joy of it all.
I'm going to take Beyonce.
Yeah, the money and, you know.
And, you know, I'm going to take Jay-Z over Donald Trump every day.
Yeah, you wouldn't want him near you.
No.
How's your gag reflex, though? Let's be honest.
It'll get a workout.
Yeah. He's got 99 problems and Pricey's gag reflex is 1.
Exactly. You know.
Oh, shit. I've got another one here. This is one of my favorites. It's so retarded and nobody gets it. And, all right.
Okay.
So if I have 30 cows and 28 chickens, how many didn't?
28 chickens.
28 chickens.
Uh-huh.
How many didn't?
How many what?
How many didn't?
I didn't catch that. What was it?
No,
Sorry.
you caught it. You caught it. Right. It sounds like the question's not finished, but it right.
No.
If because when I got asked this, I said, I think you're having an aneurysm. So if I have 30 cows and 28 chickens, how many didn't?
Yeah.
Still make no sense?
78. I don't know.
This is what it is. If I have 30 cows and 28 chickens.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's just a fucker no.
And
yeah. My mate asked me, I'm like, dude, I think you're having an aneurysm. That's not a fucking sentence. How many didn't what? How many didn't? Oh, I think.
Honestly, man, yeah.
Yeah?
Woof. Yeah. Okay.
All right. What's another? This is one that I like. Okay, it's a tough one. Right, you're at a cliff, and your mum's hanging off the cliff just by one hand, right? And then 10 feet away, your dad's hanging off the cliff as well. All right, you've got a very important choice to make.
Yeah.
Is Diet Coke better than Pepsi Max?
No, I hate them both.
Do you?
I hate Coke, Diet Coke and Pepsi Max. I can't stand them. They're both. I don't know what it is, man. They're just like they taste like chemicals. Like.
Well, I hope you weren't hoping for our Coca-Cola sponsorship.
Well, look, I'll take Fat Coke every day of the week, but not. Yeah, just the diet options are terrible.
Fat Coke.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it is. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Are you still playing drums at all?
I haven't in the last 2 years, no, and it's mainly down to that. Obviously, my businesses have taken up a lot of my time, and I mean it doesn't go away. Like I played a covers gig last year. But like I didn't rehearse or anything. I just rocked up and played, and I'm not going to lie. The first set was wobbly as hell. but no, I got through it. I finally actually got to play a gig with the Epidemic Over Boys So that was a nice nostalgia trip. So that was good.
That's
and yeah, and I actually flew up to Gladstone and played with them, and got to spend the night with them, got drunk and stuff. It was good. But no, I haven't, and it is something that I think about going back to, but like at the moment, and this is, I've taken up like just working out a lot.
Yeah.
And like that's taking up a lot of my money, but also a lot of my time. And
But dude, it's improving your life, man. You're looking fucking great, and you're gonna feel better. You're gonna be slinging dick like a motherfucker.
Yeah, and like honestly, man, like I never in my life thought I'd be the guy that's talking about like lifting weights and like you've known me for longer than 10 years, man, for over nearly 15 now. Like that's not something that's ever been a part of my life, and like for me to pick it up now and see the absolute change in the last 6 months that I've had, like that's just been like really incredible for me. And like my wife Emma, she's picked it up as well. It's changed her life as well. And yeah, I mean, like it's always something that I think about going back to, and I would really like to. Like even yesterday, I'm still in a bunch of Facebook groups of like people like selling secondhand kits and all that sort of stuff. And I saw one there, and it was just beautiful. It was like this matte black pearl drum kit and like white hardware and all that sort of stuff. There's like brand new skins on. I was like, oh shit, man, I could buy that right now. That is just an amazing looking kit. And I'm just like, fuck, I'd never get to play it. I don't have a rehearsal room. I don't have space in my apartment. I could probably leave it at like my mate's. He teaches drums, but you'd probably get every kid coming in wanting to play it. And do you know what I mean? Like
there's only so many hours in the day, man. Like
1,000%.
I'd love to have a band again, but I'm loving doing stand-up, and there's only one dickhead to worry about, and that's me. Yeah. I don't have to worry about 4 other dickheads not having jobs and spending all their money on weed and all that nonsense that goes with being in a band. It's just me. Get me there. And if I forget all my shit, that's fine because I've remembered it. So let's fucking get up,
Yeah. That's it, dude. And yeah, and look, one day I will, but I don't think, and I'd like to play in a band again as well, like you say, but I don't think I am at the point now where that like in previous times that would have been the thing that was driving me, that I'd want to be in a band that was getting lots of gigs and getting lots of exposure and all of that sort of stuff, and I've been there and I've done that, and I've played in a band where I got to play at Blues Fest and I got to play at festivals and touring and all that sort of stuff, and that was fun. But that's like if I was going to play in a band now, I think I'd just want it just to get I'll play a gig maybe once every 3 or 4 months, just because I wanted to and it was fun and I was in front of people again. Like that'd be about the motivation for me.
Yeah, I was talking to Andy Dowling from Lord about this, and it's like, just because you can't be in the NBA doesn't mean you can't play for your local team.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Like when you've got the time, grab a kit and, play the occasional cover gig or just jam with your mates or whatever. But for me, like I'm playing guitar in my act. I've got this 7-string guitar, which is my baby. Like if the house was on fire, I'd come in for the guitar.
That's the thing you'd grab.
Yeah, then the missus, then the dog, Like
I would hope that you and Tish would grab the guitar together.
No, she knows I'm kidding. But I haven't played it in a year because I don't have a purpose for it. I can't really use it in my act at the moment. And that's my... Right. It's like, well, what? You've only got so much time. I can't... And like yourself, man, I can't fit any more in. Even fun. Yeah. I can't even fit fun in at the moment. Luckily, a lot of the things we do are fun.
Hey, what's this? What am I, chip liver?
I just said that, motherfucker, all right? Don't make me come over there and fucking nut slap you. All right, man. I better let you go anyway. Hey, just give your social media and all of your websites and everything a quick plug before you go, man.
Yeah, cool. Oh, Thanks so much for having a chat with me, man. And
No worries.
it's been a nice little memory lane trot.
Oh,
through
mate.
memory lane.
Fuck, we could go. There's plenty of lanes.
There's
Just
so much,
quickly,
yeah.
a bit of
Yeah.
a taste tester for the next one. Do you remember that
All
time you and your ex, we were all at a gig at O'Dowd's and someone flogged
God.
her bag and then we went on a manhunt?
Oh, man, I was only telling someone about this story the other day.
Yeah, all right. We'll leave that for next time because that was
Oh,
a fun one.
That was.
Yeah.
Oh, it was torrentially raining too.
Oh, yeah.
Pouring.
The whole thing, the way it panned out, couldn't have been any more retarded. Like, it was
Couldn't have
like
been any more
fucking,
Rockhampton.
like Pinky in the Brain, but the brain was out. It was just Pinky, you know?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you do PR. If there's any Australian bands, in particular, or even US bands, fuck, half the listeners of this show are from the States. If you want Pricey to help do PR for your band, how can they contact you?
So it's on, look up Collision Course PR on Facebook, or collisioncourse.com.au is the website. And the Faction is basically The Faction Live is the website, and The Faction Live is the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that stuff, if you want to check out. And if you want to grab the app, it's in iTunes and in Android.
Yep, and it's free.
Absolutely free.
Absolutely free. You get to hear me, get to hear tunes. What more do you fucking want? Hey?
Yeah, your Lagerstein interviews on tonight, man, 7 o'clock.
Oh, lovely. Beautiful.
Be 5 o'clock for you.
And there'll be an alien weaponry. I'm trying to do a Kiwi accent there. There'll be that one popping up soon too.
Oh, bother it. Listen to that as well.
For sure, bro. Anyone listening, Pricey's worked with, you've done PR now for Rise Against, Steel Panther, Meshuggah.
Avenged Sevenfold, 12-Foot Ninja, Deadlift Circus. What other tour did I do last year? Alter Bridge. The Steel Panther one is up next month. Did the Under Oath album. Yeah, a bunch of stuff.
So the point is...
Bit of a wild ride, man.
The point is, he knows what he's on about, all right? Like, he may be susceptible to sack wax. I mean, I've proven that over the years. But when it comes to this shit, he knows it.
Thanks, dude. Look, they're a big target, all right?
Yeah, I know. I tell you what, we should... they should build a monument in your nuts' honor, I think. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hyper Manic Noize.